Hello folks, welcome to Lester's. Antonio in New York. Someone in your family thinks very highly of you. I'm getting ready to start on your radio. Okay folks, more to come. Okay. I'm ready to open it up, get it out. I thought you might like to see it as I'm unboxing it. I'm going to leave the manual in there, so it falling back down in there is a good thing. Anyway, there's the radio. These are beautiful radios. Not only do they look really nice, but they talk really nice too. They're made by the same company that makes the Anytone line of radios. Come out of the same factory, as a matter of fact. Of course, Stryker specifies how they want the radio built, and Anytone just builds it for them. That's why the quality on these newer ones is so good. All the radios coming out of that factory are high quality radios. Well, you've heard me say that about the Anytones. That 5555 I just did is, you know, not as flashy as the 955 here, as the Stryker, but it's a lot like it inside. I like that big display on that 5555. I like how bright the 955 can be too, because as you get older, you need a little more light. Sorry to say. I've been listening to the Tango Charlie net in the UK. Talked to Maxine this evening. Of course, it was about 10 o'clock where she's at. She has a loud station, but she's not running anything special. She's just on a high heel. She's got her antenna where she can take it up and down, and she had to drop it down tonight, or this afternoon for our time, but nighttime over there, because of the lightning. So she left the net a little bit early. It's pretty cool to hear all of them. The frequency is 27585 upper sideband. It's called the Tango Charlie net, and they are on there every night. And it's been quite a while since I've been able to hear them on there. Conditions just haven't been right, but they're right now. Okay, let's get this thing hooked up and do some testing. I want to make sure it works good before we do anything to it. Israel is a repeat customer, Antonio, and He's the one that recommended that Monica order the radio for you. Israel's bought quite a few radios from me. Okay. I'm going to power up the power supply. The fans are kind of noisy. I apologize ahead of time. Something to remember when you first turn this radio on, it lights up, but it does a power on self test, and then it comes up where it ought to be. Used to stick the microphone in the side, but this one's on the front. Okay. Let's go to 28 even. Now, I'm on the dummy load, so I'm not going to bother the ham band. Okay, I'm on AM. Where's RF power? Oh, right there under my nose. Okay. Well, that looks pretty good there. Dead on frequency. Dead key in about 12 watts. Hello, audio 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1, and doing about 75 or 80, which, you know, that's to be expected. This hasn't been tuned up. Hello, 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1 audio. That's about 18 watts RMS, and audio about 80 watts PEP on sideband. Okay, sounds like the receiver's working well. Alright, let me check FM. Okay, dead key on FM. We're at about 25 watts RMS, and of course ignore the PEP meter on FM. Okay, all right, Antonio, I'm gonna get started on your radio. More to come. Actually, I'm just gonna let it record as I'm doing this. If there's something in there I don't like, I can take it out. Edit it out, rather. what she looks like on the inside. I need to unplug the speaker. So I can set this cover aside. Looks really familiar, doesn't it? Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it right there. I have to look up into the camera display so I can see what's showing. I'm using my cell phone to control the recording, but when I start recording, it cuts out the preview. So I can't see what it's actually recording. Okay. Okay, that's on 555 upper sideband, 27555. I talked to Chile yesterday afternoon, day before yesterday. The guy was in Santiago, Chile. I tried to, after our initial contact, I talked to him for a little bit, found out about his station. He was running a ICOM 7300, good sounding station. He was very strong. But then I cleared with him, and he spoke with several other stations. And when I went back, I wanted to go back and talk to him again to see how far he was from the Atacama Desert, because I know about the Atacama Desert, visited there, but you know, I was just curious how far that is from where he is. I guess I could look on the map. But I thought it was pretty neat that I was able to talk to Chile just off my IMAX 2000 and my little Yaesu FT991A. That's this thing is man, this is a nice radio. It's the Yaesu FT991A. Not only does it do HF, all of the HF bands, but it also does VHF and UHF. So it's a really nice little radio. Anyway, back to this one. This is a really nice little radio too. Alright, first thing I got to do is take this heatsink out so I can get to that capacitor that's underneath it there that, you know, goes for the voltage regulator. And also I want to take out this, replace this filter. This is a 16 kilohertz wide filter, 8 on one side of center, 8 on the other side of center. I'm going to replace it with a 14 kilohertz wide filter, which is 7 on one side and 7 on the other. And what that does is cut down on bleed over or adjacent channel rejection. It increases adjacent channel rejection. Okay. All right. Right now my coffee cup is empty, so I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee. More to come. All right, I got my coffee, and I'm getting ready to install the magic resistor. Waiting on the soldering iron to get hot so I can clean out the holes. That guy sounded French, didn't he? I'm still sitting on 555, which is the international call frequency, if you guys don't know that. 27555 upper sideband, international call frequency. If you want to shoot some distant DX, that's where you need to go. But what you do, if you do go there, you call CQDX and then you give a frequency that you're going to switch to. You go to that frequency and have your conversation. You don't have your conversation on the call frequency. Just so you know, radio etiquette. Because if you set on the call frequency and have a conversation, then that means other people can't get in and make calls. So you get in, broadcast your call, CQDX, and who you are and where you're at, and then tell your person on the other end that wants to talk to you where to go, what frequency to go to. Yep, that's French. Definitely French. Not Canadian French either. These ground holes are always the hardest ones to clean out. When you're going to unsolder something, it's always a good idea to put a little dab of fresh solder on there. It makes it conduct heat a lot better. I'm just going to let it sit there for a minute. No, I don't have the heat turns all the way up on my soldering iron. I don't want to damage the board. That was high enough. Okay. See, you got in there and made his call and told him what frequency to go to if they wanted to talk to him. Upper side of 27490. You'll find a lot of them that'll split the frequency. You know, like they'll tell you to go to 27492 or 4925. So instead of a 10 kilohertz or 5 kilohertz spacing, they do a 2.5 kilohertz spacing. He sounded Scottish. Alright, magic resistor is installed. So you know what? Let me get the I'm gonna see if I can get a 6800 cap in that DC input buffer filter. That will certainly help it out on the modulation peaks. Be right back. Just gonna walk over here and get one. Still have trouble walking. Folks, stroke ain't nothing to laugh at, boy. Fortunately, I recognized the symptoms as soon as they started, and I was able to get help right away. Felt like my hand was going to sleep. I was sitting at the keyboard typing, working the night shift. Sitting at the keyboard typing. Felt like my hand was going to sleep because it anyway, I was saying, felt like my hand was going to sleep. So I went to stand up. You know, I figured I was sitting the wrong way, or, you know, leaning on it the wrong way or something. And when I went to stand up, my leg just collapsed. Bad thing about it is I had left my phone sitting on my desk. Well, I knew what was happening right away, so I managed to get back close enough to my desk to get my phone and call for help. A lot of stations on 555 this afternoon, or actually this evening. It's a good place to make contacts if you want to talk DX, like Europe, South America. Okay, so we want that one. Let me see which one we want here. The one right there. I want to start back to working on base stations again. I'm getting got you know, more strength in my left arm and hand now. I'll get back to working on base stations. Alright, let's see, I also need to get some on that filter. Now this is the way I like to remove parts on these boards that have vias that go from one side to the other. What you do, you get a lot of solder on both sides of that, get it hot so that it comes out easy, and then you can clean out the hole afterwards. And I like to use forceps to grab the part, help me get it out. Comes right out. No damage to the vias. Now, if you don't know what a via is, there's two eyelets. One eyelet on this side of the board and an eyelet on the other side of the board. And then there's a little metal tunnel that goes in between them. That's called a via. Because the circuit current I'm not sure if you guys are seeing what I'm doing or not, because the display on the camera has went dark. It times out. Nothing wrong with it. But I think I got all that I'm doing in the camera. I'm getting ready now to take out the crystal filter. He's not moving far away from. Yeah, he is too. He's a half channel away. Anyway, got all the old parts out. And get ready to put in the new and improved versions. Start with the center ground hole on this one because it's the one that takes the longest. Well, he's either in Ireland or in Scotland. I can't really tell. See, I got those holes cleaned out. They cleaned out real easy after the part's out of them and the leads are out of the holes. The solder comes out of there real easy, and it's easy to put the new part in there. Whereas if you don't do that, if you just try to clean out the holes so you can get the part out, it doesn't always work, and you could remove part of the via as you take the part, force the part to come out. But by heating it up all the way through while you're removing the part, it doesn't damage the board. Unless you get the board too hot. Now, don't get the board too hot, of course. That's common sense. Okay. Now in this one, I know I'm going to have to put the 3300 in there. The reason for that anyway, it needs to be short enough that it will clear the heat sink when I put the heat sink back on there. I was just double checking which way ground was so I didn't put this thing in backwards, because they make a loud noise when you put them in backwards and turn the power on. $27,680. Boy, 555 is hopping this afternoon. You want to shoot some international skip, that's the place to do it. Okay, I need to clean that hole out a little better. These ground holes are always hard to clean, get all of the solder out of them. Because they can dissipate the heat. See, a lot better. And I don't want to turn my soldering iron heat up too much, because that might damage the board. Okay, let's try that now. That's better. That guy's pegging out my needle. Okay, got that one in. Alright, let's see. Might need to put standoffs on this. First I want to see if it'll fit through the holes. Yes, it does. So what I want to do is, after I get it put in there, okay, I need it to stand up off the board because there's components right there close to it. I don't want it touching those components. So what I'll do is solder it in place. And then I don't know if you can see that or not, I'll try to get it where you can. The camera doesn't show me what I'm trying to show you, but I leave a space up underneath it, and what I'll do, I'll put hot glue, industrial hot glue, up under there to hold it steady, keep it from vibrating. And I use industrial hot glue, not hobby hot glue. Same kind of stuff they use to seal boxes with. I know y'all all appreciate those things. Try to open a box and wind up tearing it apart. See what I mean? 555, boy, is just hopping. And no, this ain't a tattoo or a birthmark. That stupid medication that I'm on, anytime I rub up against something, it does that. So I'm not injured or anything like that. It just, you know, kind of looks like a really bad bruise, but it's not. I don't remember now what they call it, but it is caused by the medication. So it's kind of annoying. I hate the way it looks. So I try to be careful and not rub up against anything, but you know, that's kind of hard to do. Especially when you're trying to pack radios. You know, reach on the shelf, get a radio, put a radio up on the shelf, move things around, get boxes. Now, if anyone other than me needs to work on this radio and they need to get here where these components are, a little bit of alcohol on the hot glue will cause it to release. I use industrial alcohol, but any kind of alcohol will work. That Alberta station's got a good sounding station too. Okay. Take my Weller heat gun. Get that glue down closer to the board. Get rid of any strings, because this industrial hot glue will leave strings like you wouldn't believe. Okay. Now see, it's braced. It's got that all around the bottom of it. It's braced. The capacitor's not going to move. But if somebody needs to work on the radio, all they got to do is put alcohol on that hot glue and it just comes off real easy. Alright, now I'm going to put the new filter in. Might help if I get one out. And I was going to give you guys the part number on these. Yeah, there it is. MF08107. MF08107. The 107 indicates the frequency, which is 10.7 IF, which we all know that the actual IF of the radio is 10.695. But the 10.7 filter is close enough. Got that in there. I'm going to dab a little bit of hot glue on it to hold it in place while I turn the board upside down and solder it. Ouch, tip of that hot glue gun is hot. Okay. Make sure it's still straight. But look at the bottom and the leads are kind of bent. Okay. That's my special color paint, so I can identify the components, make sure they're ones that I installed. Alright, got the new filter installed. Got the voltage regulator buffer filter. Okay, that's an electrolytic capacitor that's in the positive lead going to the voltage regulator. What this guy does is provide kind of like an air tank. It stores a little bit of air, okay? In this case, a little bit of electricity. So what happens is when the voltage starts to drop going to the voltage regulator, this thing discharges what it has stored up to try to keep that voltage up. So on your peaks, when you're really driving the radio and the voltage dips, this guy discharges and gives a little back. Same thing with this one. Of course, he's going to discharge and give more back. All right, this is a 68,000 microfarad. The one that was in there that I took out was a 1,000 microfarad. Okay. This one is a 3,300 microfarad. The one I took out was a 1,000 microfarad. So we've tripled the size of the buffer filter, the electrolytic cap on the positive lead going to the voltage regulator. We have doubled and tripled the size of the one on the DC input. Okay, so the DC input buffer filter is now 68,000. Is that right? 68? No, 6,800. I was going to say 68,000. Man, that thing would be about that. Yeah, 6,800 microfarad. Okay, the one that came out was a 1,000. So we've almost multiplied it times 7. All right. Yeah, 200 more microfarad, and it would be a 7,000. That would be 7 times what we had in there. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to hook it up to the computer and make the adjustments. I need to put that heat sink back on there. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. I haven't forgotten one yet, but I am getting older. Here, it doesn't do for that. Come on, left hand, cooperate a little bit. And we're starting to lose Europe. I was talking to the UK earlier, and it was already 10 o'clock there. Oh, there's a hole there. There it is. Okie dokie. Well, this part's going to be boring, so I know y'all ain't going to want to sit around and watch that. I love my Striker radios. Huazhang, that's what the name of the factory is. These things are made in China. You know, it's a Chinese factory, but the quality of the radio equipment coming out of there is just amazing. And if you have a Jeep, or if you drive an 18-wheeler, tractor trailer, or whatever, these new Striker 955s and 655s with all the surface-mounted components, all that bouncing around and jarring is not going to bother them. If you drive something like that, or if you go off-road with a hunting truck, or go off-road with a Jeep, you know, just to go mudding or whatever, and you need a radio, look at something like this. President makes a good bunch of radios too. but Stryker did it first. Okay. Alright, boys and girls, I'm going to cut the camera off. When I get done, I'll come back and show you the results. Antonio, you're going to like this radio, buddy. Alright, more to come. Alright, got all the tuning done. Okay, I'm going to be putting the screws back in it now. Loosely. Got to do the 24-hour burn-in. Let me get some screws back in it, and we'll do some power checks. Thought I had 4 screws there. Nope. One little piggy stayed home. Oh, wow. Is it magnetic? Yeah, it is magnetic. Why did it fall off? These fine threaded screws, you have to turn them a million times to get them to go in, so I like to use my driver to get them started. But I always set it on the lowest possible setting. See that right there? It's like a sheetrock screw. If I hit bottom with it, you'll hear the clutch go off. So can't over tighten them with this set like that, but I still just like to run them down most of the way and then finish it off by hand. You ever can tell when you got a weak screw or something, you know, if you break one off in there, they're a pain to get out unless enough of it got through the back where you can take some pliers and twist it out from the back. Radio tuned up really nice. Of course they all do. See how long that drill spun and then didn't get to the bottom. Okay, they'll stay just like that until the burn-in is complete. Come on, get untangled. All right. Okay. Powered up. Let me get out my camera stand. I I showed y'all this before. There's my camera stand right there. Okay. I have got a, alright, come on camera. Alright, 50 watt slug in RMS, which is the one on the left, so we'll be reading on the center part of the meter. A 100 watt slug on the meter on the right for PEP, so we'll be reading on the bottom scale. Okay. Let's see. Man, you can see them. All right. Radio. Oh God, I hate that damn beep. All right, you can turn the beep off, you know, if you want to, but that's up to you. All righty. We're at 14.8 volts, and let's go to AM. Okay. AM powers all the way down. Should be dead keying about 2.5 watts. Okay, remember we're reading on the center scale on the meter on the left. Alright. So that's about 2.5 watts right there. Hello, audio, audio, 1, 2. Get back on times 1. Hello, audio, audio, 1, 2. Audio. Alright. Now I'm going to turn the RF power all the way up. Hello, audio, audio, 1, 2. 1, 2. Audio. Now I better put it back on times 2. Audio. That's 120 watts. Okay. Now I'm going to go to lower sideband. Turn our power all the way down. Hello, audio. Audio, hello. Okay. Now I'm going to turn our power all the way up. I am on channel 20. Transmitting into a dummy load, so don't freak out. Audio. So we're doing 40 watts RMS and audio 120 watts PEP. Okay. All right. Now let me let you hear the receiver. Put that back on AM. Alright, we're connected to my dummy load and still got that much signal with it connected to the dummy load. Now I'm going to switch to direct. Let you watch the meter. If I can get my hand to do it. There we go. That should be an S9. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright. That's on the AM, you're listening to that. Now I'm going to switch to the lower side. There it is on the lower side. Okay. Alright, turn that off. I know you guys hate to hear it. Antonio, I sure hope you enjoy your new radio. It was my pleasure to set it up for you. 7-3, everybody. Please stay safe. Beep volume. How do you adjust that? Okay, now here's a trick that some of you may not know. Let's say your clarifier is off, okay? When you turn the radio on, it comes up on center frequency, but your clarifier indicator is all messed up. What you need to do is real simple. Turn the radio off, center up your clarifier knobs, line it up at 12 o'clock, just like that, and then turn the radio back on. Now your clarifier is centered up with the display on the radio, or the frequency indicator on the radio is centered up with frequency, okay? So now, when you turn it, I apologize for my hand, I'm sorry. It moves with it, and then to get back to center, you just line the knobs back up, and you're on frequency. Now this guy here, he works in receive unless you go in and change it, okay, so you can tune someone in. He doesn't change your transmit frequency. Alright, okay, time for me to hook it up to the computer and do the tune-up. More to come. Alright, 50-watt slug in RMS, which is the one on the left, so we'll be reading on the center part of the meter. A 100-watt slug on the meter on the right for PEP, so we'll be reading on the bottom scale. Let's see. Yeah, you can see them. All right. Radio. Oh God, I hate that damn beep. All right, you can turn the beep off, you know, if you want to, but that's up to you. All righty. We're at 14.8 volts, and let's go to AM. Okay. AM powers all the way down. Should be dead keying about 2.5 watts. Okay, remember we're reading on the center scale on the meter on the left. Alright. So that's about 2.5 watts right there. Hello, audio, 1, 2. Look back on times 1. Hello, audio, 1, 2. Audio. Alright. Now I'm going to turn our power all the way up. Hello, audio, 1, 2. 1, 2. Audio. Now I better put it back on times 2. Audio. That's 120 watts. Okay. Now I'm going to go to lower sideband. Turn our power all the way down. Hello, audio. Audio, hello. Okay, now I'm going to turn our power all the way up. I am on channel 20, transmitting into a dummy load, so don't freak out. Audio. So we're doing 40 watts RMS and audio 120 watts PEP. Okay. All right. Now let me let you hear the receiver. Put that back on AM. Alright, we're connected to my dummy load and still got that much signal with it connected to the dummy load. Now I'm going to switch to direct. Let you watch the meter. If I can get my hand to do it. There we go. That should be an S9. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright. That's on AM, you're listening to that. Now I'm going to switch to lower side. There it is on lower side. Okay. Alright, turn that off. I know you guys hate to hear it. Well, Antonio, I sure hope you enjoy your new radio. It was my pleasure to set it up for you. 7-3, everybody. Please stay safe.